I am here in my classroom and we're going to start classroom setup today. As you can see, it is kind of a hot mess behind me. I have not been in here since end of May. I moved out of my old classroom, moved everything into this classroom, and then just left. I shoved some things in the closets. I piled up as much as I could because they had to clean the carpets, and I just have not been back. So today is going to be classroom setup day number 1, and it's going to be all about organization. I'm going to flip you around here and just kind of give you an overview of the classroom really quick and the state that it's currently in, and then we'll get started. Okay, so here is just a quick pan of the room, the blank canvas. I'm standing at the doorway, and luckily I do have some windows and some light in here. And this is everything that I have to get together. And luckily I have a couple of these really big cabinets, but I'll go ahead and open one. As you can see, I just dumped stuff in here and I left. Here's the other one. Oh man. The current state that we're in is just, woo. I'm going to empty out these cabinets and start fresh. Luckily, when I packed up my classroom, like in these bins and things right here, I tried to be really mindful of keeping things together that would need to be together. So it's kind of like organized in the bins and tubs, but just thrown all around in these cabinets. This one right here, I kind of peeked in other classrooms and it's not in any of the classrooms. So I think this is something that the previous teacher left me. And it's got like some craft kind of stuff in it, I think. Let's see. Yeah, like it's got a little bit of supplies. Just kind of a plethora of stuff, but no other classroom has this. Most of them just, all of them have these 2 cabinets. So I'm thinking that the previous teacher purchased that. So I'm gonna try and empty it out and just fit everything in here or on like my bookshelves that I brought and get rid of that because I really don't like her. So there we have it. This is the beginning state of my classroom, and it is currently 11:23. So my goal is to be out of here by about 3 this afternoon, and we'll see what I get done. Okay, there is one cabinet cleaned out. Now we have another one. This one was all of my stuff, and this one is a little bit of a mix. Some of this stuff is mine. Some of it, like these manipulatives, are part of the curriculum and provided by the school. Or supplement the curriculum, should I say, because clearly that says Lakeshore, and I know that's not the curriculum, but anyways, some of it's mine, some of it's the school's, and I'm kind of struggling with what to do with the things that came from the school. The aftermath of emptying out those cabinets, all of this stuff. But as you can see, I still have, this cabinet still has quite a bit in here. I left those two things right there because they're full of notebook paper and they're really heavy. They won't stay there, but I don't feel like moving them to one spot just to pick them up and move them somewhere else. So they're gonna wait. But I still have quite a bit of stuff in here. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and leave that until I can find whatever area I wanna keep the manipulatives and curriculum in. Most likely, since those are like teacher editions and stuff, those are gonna be like with me at my teacher table, like behind, organized somewhere rather than in the cabinet. And then I still have all of this stuff above, but we're gonna worry about that later. Next thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to set up or figure out a layout as far as the desks go. I set out these so I would have somewhere to put all of my stuff, but I'm gonna move them to the center of the room. That way I have like a perimeter to work with, and I can start putting things where I want them to go. Okay, so I am kind of midway in the room, and what I'm thinking is that this whiteboard and this whiteboard are going, this is not a whiteboard. This whiteboard and this TV are gonna be like the instructional zones. So anything that I do like video or on the iPad or anything like that that I need to show on the TV, students will need to see this area, but also anything that we're doing like working out problems, solving things together, we'll need this whiteboard. I'm going to use this back whiteboard to have like our classroom jobs, our compliment jar, informational stuff back here, calendar, all that type of stuff. I did some rearranging, some moving around, so I'm just going to show you the layout and kind of tell you my thought process behind it, and then we will go from there. Okay, just so you can see, my pile in the middle of the room, it's like taking up probably 60% of the space in the room right now. But now that I have my areas kind of set up, I will be able to come pull from here and put it where it goes, I think. All right, so we'll start over here. I think I'm gonna have my teacher table here in front of the TV. I have this bench cube shelf from IKEA, and I have it here just as like a spacer to kind of help me gauge about how much space it's going to take up. I am going to go back and get a 3-row shelf. So that way there will be 12 cubbies in all instead of just the 4. I'm going to keep this one, but it's not going to be the one that's back here. I'm going to get the 3, and I believe it will fit just right underneath the TV. So then that will leave the space on the walls open, and I think I'm going to do just a full wall of like bulletin board space. That way any anchor charts or things that we make throughout the year, I'll just be able to hang them up on the wall. So for now, the walls are gonna look, I'll scoot back. The walls are gonna look pretty bare. But that's okay, because once I get some faux bulletin boards and stuff put up, it'll all kind of come together. So I'm thinking teacher table in front of the TV. And now this little cube shelf is actually going to come underneath here. And I'm putting it here because there's a plug, and I'll be able to plug in the pencil sharpener, whatever I need over here. This is where students can come and get a red pen if they don't have one, an eraser if they need one for their pencil. I normally keep like extra scissors and all the supplies in the bins underneath as well. So this is just where I will keep all of that. So in just a moment, I'm gonna move that over here, and I think that's gonna be its permanent spot. The next thing that I was thinking of is my library, and I very well could use one of the front corners. Kind of show you up there. I could put it there, or I could put it up here in this corner. That shelf is not going to stay there. I very well could put them there, but however, I don't have a huge classroom library. If you can see that white shelf there, this white shelf, and then this bench seat, those are the only things that I have to hold books for my classroom library. So my classroom library is like a pretty small area, and I've always had it in a corner. I've always had my last classroom, it was kind of like this setup. I had the bench seat in front of the window, and then I had the two bookshelves on the wall there, and it worked fine, and it was always a little cozy space. However, if I'm sending like a table group, they need to go all pick out a book from the classroom library. Whenever it's smushed together, or I don't want to say smushed, but whenever all of the shelves are together, then there's not a lot of space for a table of like 4 or 5 kids to go and pick out a book. So I was thinking that having the bench seat here would be just a nice cozy spot for a student to come work, because I love letting them work around the room instead of just staying in their seat. So the bench seat here, and then I have in front of this big whiteboard, I have the one bookshelf on that end, and then I have one bookshelf down here on this end. So we'll have books on all 3 of these shelves. I think it'll be good just to kind of open up the space a little bit. That way more than one kid can really be looking for a book at a time. And then I put my classroom stage right here. And I did that because if I have students who are, or if I have problems on the board or something for students to be working on, some of them, even though they're 3rd graders, they are still a little bit tiny. So sometimes whenever I write on the board, they'll be able to step up here and work out the problems and be able to reach everything, and it'll work out. Also, I use my stage. I don't have a carpet for students to come to. It's like really popular, and I don't want to say popular, it's really common in primary grades to have a carpet for students to come to for like whole group instruction, or like morning meetings and things like that. But I don't have one, and I just tell my students to come sit around the stage. So I think this will be perfect too, to have them come sit around the stage here, and it leaves plenty of space in between like the shelves in here. There's plenty of space for them to kind of fully circle around, and then I normally will sit on the stage and be talking to them, but that leaves us plenty of room around for my whole group of, I believe they said 22. So I think this is the perfect spot for the stage. And then I think that is it as far as things that I've moved around the room. And like I said, now that I have all of those spots kind of set up, I can take what I need from here and move it there, and have them around the room where they need to go. So I'm going to set you guys up and just kind of go ahead. Like, as far as these trash bags are full of my bins for my library. I'll get my stools set up with my teacher table. I'm gonna get that moved over here for the student center. So yeah, I'm just gonna get a little bit of work done, and I'll set you up so you can kind of see me getting things organized. Is laughable, but you know what I'm trying to say. I would really like the room to be symmetrical, and since I have a bench seat over there in front of that window, put a bench seat in front of this one. But my beautiful snake plant needs to be by the window, and the windowsill is not big enough for my plant to fit behind like a bench seat. So I'm thinking to get a little side table, or I don't remember if it's side table or kids table from IKEA, but put that there and I can set my plant on top of it. And then I can use my crate seats that need to be fixed up. They've been well loved over the last year. But I can get those around. Okay. They did come in and warn me that they were gonna set off the fire alarm, and that would be annoying for you. So I'll come back when that test is over. So it's about 45 minutes later, 2:50. The fire alarm test just ended. So that was fun. I got a little bit done, but also I did a little bit of stewing, a little bit of thinking as well. I told myself I wouldn't stay here past 3 just because, I mean, I really could stay in here all day, but I just wanted to come in for a couple of hours and get started. And although it still looks like a big mess, I know I have made some progress as far as ideas and getting a little bit of stuff organized or put in their place. So I'll just walk you around the room really quick to show you what the final state of the room is for today, for classroom setup day 1. And then I will be back tomorrow. I'll probably come up here for a couple of hours and maybe see what else I can knock out. All right, so again, standing at the doorway, just kind of a little overview of what the room looks like, and then I'll just kind of walk around and show you what I've done. So here we go. First wall, when you walk in, I put these here, and this is where I keep supplies where students are allowed to go and grab one. So this is like overflow supplies whenever they need to refill their supplies. And then in here inside of these tubs is where I keep all of the extras. So this space, students are allowed to come and grab one after being explicitly taught how and when and why they need to come grab one. But then here in these bins, I keep the overflow of pencils, markers, glue, that sort of thing. And then I know I showed you already, but I was considering doing the library here, and with this bookshelf and with that bookshelf on that side. But now that I'm seeing this space look like, let me back up. Now that I'm seeing this space look like this, I'm reconsidering. I don't know if I love that bench there. So that's what a moment ago when I said I was stewing, that's what I was stewing on. I do really like the idea of having the 2 bookshelves like that, but I don't love this here. But anyways, that's not final. My other option would be to take those 3, the bench and the 2 bookshelves, and they would go up here in this corner. And there's just something I love about having a classroom library, like a little corner, but also I just really love the idea of having it a little bit more spread out. So I'm really torn on that. I'm not sure, but oh well, nothing is set in stone. I won't be actually putting the library together for a while, so it'll be fine. For now, we'll just stay like that. While the sirens were going off, the fire alarm, I emptied out my totes that have all of my extra things. These are some things that I have purchased. These are some that have been left over. But just baggies, Clorox, wipes, Germex, and tissue. So that's what I keep inside of here. I have quite a bit of extra. So that's good to be starting the year out on the plus side. But I promise you, I went through about triple this amount this year, but I went ahead and filled that up. So my stage is all good to go. Just, gotta close the lid, whatever. I brought the boxes of books over here by this shelf, but like I said, I won't be setting up my library for a while. That'll probably be one of the final touches. So next thing is the teacher area. I think I already showed you where I brought these bins over here. These are stools that students will actually sit on. And so I went ahead and brought these to the teacher table because that's where they will go. And then I went ahead and brought a couple of things that I know I will want on the shelf behind me once I get that shelf. And this one is just my teacher toolbox. Let's see if I can, this is my teacher toolbox. And this is just different papers, printer paper, notebook paper, that sort of thing. These two are not staying here. I just don't know where they are going to go yet. This is my paper flow system. I love this. So this one will be close to me, at least near me, around me, something. But this one has some stem bin stuff, some games, some flashcards, just all kinds of stuff in here. I don't know exactly where they'll go, but I know this one will be close to me because it's where I'll have all my copies and things. And then that brings us around to the cabinet. The only thing that I put back in here are these little bins, and these are just like shoe boxes from like Walmart and the dollar store. And I just like to keep some things in these. I put things that I will reach for most often here because this is like the eye level shelf. And then I put things up here that I won't reach for as often, or maybe they're only for certain times of the year. Like this is an end of the year tub. But these are bins that I reach for really often. So I went ahead and put these in here because I know I want them in the cabinet but easily accessed. So went ahead and got those put back in, and then haven't touched this one. This one's just a woo baby. We'll get to that later. So that, yeah, is just kind of what we're working with here. So final state of the room after classroom setup day 1. Alright, so that is classroom setup day 1. Thank you so much for watching. I know that this part of classroom setup is the most important. It's not the most fun part. Obviously, decorating your room and choosing cute borders and getting everything all set up is the most fun part. But I think this part is really important, making sure you have a good layout, making sure you know where things are going inside of your cabinets. All of that is really important, so that way throughout the year you're not like digging through a million things trying to find stuff. So I know that for the most part I didn't get a whole lot as far as the full, when you think of a full classroom being set up, but I think it was a good start. I've got some ideas and I know some things that I need to get, and I'm kind of ready for what I need to do the next time that I come in. And yeah, So again, thanks for watching. I will be back in a couple of days to do classroom setup day 2. So I will be looking forward to seeing you then. Bye, y'all.